The honeymoon night of the shop being done has passed. So now we've got to get to work on some normal stuff. I've got to finish up the water. Where is it? The water in that trench over there. That's all pretty easy, straightforward stuff. Everything's laid out, ready to go. My wife is gathering a few things back at the camper and back at the shed behind the camper and back in the Connex. And we have stuff scattered all over the place. I'm starting to go through the process of cleaning out my truck. Oh yes, to start putting stuff into the shop. And now of course we're just gonna move one pile of unorganized mess into another pile of unorganized mess, but it'll slowly start to get better, you know what I'm saying? Speaking of slowly start to get better, I'm going to jump on the tractor and slowly start to make all of this craziness better so that my wife can get as close as possible with her car to the roll-up door and make her life a little bit easier. And of course it has to get done anyway. I'm gonna be on the tractor for the next little while until she gets here. I tell you what, raising your heart rate during work so that you're starting to sweat and your body's really loosened up and you're just constantly moving, gosh, that makes you feel good. Makes me feel good anyway. Let me spin you around and show you the method of my madness. Water supply coming this way, and it tees off into the shop and then over there to the yard hydrant. Brass fitting, stainless steel crimps. I still like to just wrap it in a trash bag just to, you know, keep water off that that junction as much as I can. And then sewer coming out. Now that's glued together, schedule 40 PVC, crimped together PEX. I don't see any issues with cross-contamination. I'm not subject to any rules and regulations as far as this setup right here goes, putting potable water and sewer this close together. I don't see any issues with cross-contamination, just logically thinking about this anyway, because the PEX is under pressure. So if anything, the water is just going to leak out. I don't see any way possible for sewer to get into the pressurized supply line. It just doesn't make any sense to me. So I'm okay with this being super close together. PEX goes slightly, or well, just goes right on top of the schedule 40 and goes that way to the yard hydrant. It may or may not look shallow here, but where I live here in Mississippi, the frost line is only 8 inches deep. That's a 0.8 for all you northern folks. 8 inches deep. And also, where is it? There's the slab level. So I'm going to build this up quite a bit to get to that anyway. I'll have to elevate that pad just slightly. That's the aerator for the septic. So this is all going to be elevated quite a bit, probably up to about here, and that is a good foot higher than that. So we're good. We're good. This goes that way into this box right here, which has, whoa, slipping around, has the shutoff valve. Oh, come on, I don't want to disturb this box too much. Let me use both hands real fast. All right, so in here is the valve to turn this on or off. I put a bed of gravel below it and also elevated up the gravel on the sides where this straddles the pipe. That way gravel should stop dirt from infiltrating that way. And, you know, it's going to come in there a little bit just from water seepage and whatnot, but that'll be a good, nice way to keep that nice and clean down inside there. I'm not going to put that down there just yet. Now, this is what I've started doing for all the yard hydrants here, and I think it's working out quite well. So this is a 2-foot bury yard hydrant, and I went with 2-foot bury to only bury it 1 foot so that this is a little bit higher up. 1-foot bury is plenty deep enough where I live. The grade over here is going to be a little bit lower than this bucket, which is what I want. I want this to stay elevated, just to keep this nice and clean. No dirt to get inside here. And of course, this is going to have like also a big wide bed of rock to stop this splashing from the roof above. Anyway, I put about 1.5 buckets of gravel down below so that the water can trickle out on the bottom. This is a frost-proof hydrant. When you shut the valve off at the top or turn the handle off, the water comes, it seeps down and drains the whole stem of the system, stem of the hydrant, to stop it from freezing. So I've got about 1.5 buckets of gravel at the bottom, and of course this is a 5-gallon bucket right here, and you can see it's full to the top. So plenty enough gravel for letting it drain down. I like using these buckets. I started doing this on this property because that stops the dirt from infiltrating into all this gravel, keeping this gravel nice and clean with gaps in between to allow the system to work and drain and whatnot. That's a huge hole that the guy thought this was going to go into, and I kind of initially wanted it over there a little bit anyway. So I gotta start backfilling all this. This is pretty darn secure because I did put a T-post in there as well. Quick little Velcro temporary connection to hold these two together. I'm gonna get some copper wire or some type of fence wire and really get these tied together. But this is a very stable connection, and it'll prevent, you know, putting the hose on there and then dragging the hose 100 feet, accidentally yanking it and pulling on this quite a bit. It'll really increase stability over time, especially when all this gets filled up with dirt and rock and whatnot. So the only thing left to do is this T goes into the shop. Like I said, I've got to put a shut off valve inside there right as it comes out of the ground. Give myself 6 inches or so. I'll put a ball valve inside. That way I can turn every ball valve off and slowly open up the valves here and there to get water out of here. Once water is out of here, it airs out of the line. Then I can check for leaks. No leaks, then I'll cover this up. But I got to get this done because the next, let's see, today is Sunday when I'm recording this, and I believe this week we're good, but the following Monday our low at night on the 10-day forecast is 22 degrees, which for Mississippi, that's pretty darn cold. Not looking forward to that night. And it's not even like the coldest month yet. Our coldest weather is the end of January, and we're in the end of November. So it might be a cold winter, and I'm not looking forward to that. Water comes in through here, obviously. And I only got the bare minimum number of connections, so I'm just going to shut this off to pressurize the line. That's fine. This will come up just slightly to a T, and the T will come off this way with another ball valve. This ball valve. I'll have this right here, so that way when the time comes for us to no longer be in this space and it's just part of the shop and I don't need to pressurize these lines, especially over the winter, I can shut this back off, open up that valve and drain the whole system. Everything above this will drain out, and that will leave just this that I can insulate quite a bit and not have any worry about freezing here in the shop when we're living in the house down the road. All the way from the road, supply line comes all the way to here. I've yet to super fill in the trench, just kind of letting nature do its thing, letting all that settle before I start piling more stuff in. I did in some areas, but not all the way through, so I'll work on that at my convenience later. Coming to this junction, this valve is for this hydrant. This valve is for the shop, and there's another buried one here for future expansion that way. But this one, just pulled the cap off. You can't even see the valve, it's down there deep enough. My wrench is just PVC, 2-inch PVC. Which way is the thing? Okay, this way. Valves are shut off at the shop, and from here it is open. Did that go all the way? Let's see. Not quite all the way. I may have two hands for this. There you go. She's open. She's open, and all of the valves are still shut. I'm gonna open them one by one over here. This thing leaves tomorrow, which I'm kind of excited about it leaving, because once it leaves, I can start grading this material this way, so all the water slopes and puddles over there, which is where I want it to. Not puddle, but I'll have a swale. There already is one, but I'm gonna keep the water going that way. Not until that leaves though. Back to the task at hand. Let's make sure this water isn't leaking anywhere. Let's see, turn the water onto this hydrant. We still don't have any open valves just yet, so this is probably still air in the line. I've got a garden hose 100 feet that way because I'm so tired of mud right here anyway. Let's see what happens. Here comes the water. Oh, I can hear the water coming through that line now. All right. An uneventful process is what I want. I can hear some blub, 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 some bubbles coming out. Oh, I see the water fountain over there. So we have water. That's pretty good pressure. 3/4 inch hose, 3/4 inch line. That's what, 180 feet into a 1-inch line, which goes another 80 feet, going into 2-inch line, which goes like close to 1,250 feet, something like that, 1,300 feet total. Turn it off. And I can hear it draining right here. Good, 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 good. We are good. Now I can start closing all this stuff down. Everything's connected inside. We have the supply coming in to a ball valve to shut it off, going into a T to another ball valve, which will eventually be used to drain the whole system. So in the winter time, when no one's using this space and we're in the house down the road, I can shut off the supply. Of course, this bottom could be nice and insulated just fine. And then everything that's in the system can be drained out of this ball valve and, well, be drained out. But I have this stem coming up that is capped for future expansion, which is when we get in this space, I can hook up the camper to this. And this is a drain, but it's also allowing us to currently fill up the mop bucket, so that way we can mop all the mud out of this space, which is what she's doing right now. So we have water access in the shop right now that we can use. Mop it all and then dump it out that door, because that side is okay for water. I don't want to dump it out anywhere over here. That's the lean-to. I want to keep it nice and dry. And of course, that way is the ooey gooey gumbo that I'm trying to dry out too. So good little working system. Onward to the next thing.